Hi, everyone. Welcome to If My Mama Knew podcast. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that are new, don't forget to check out all our other episodes. I'm Gigi. I'm here with Cece.
Hey.
Minnie.
Hi, guys.
And Cookie.
Hey.
And today's topic, we're going to be talking about at what point does jealousy become toxic for a relationship? So I think, at least from my perspective, from a Hispanic family, jealousy runs in our blood, in our veins, in our whatever you want to call it. I'm a very jealous person, but at the same time, I don't want people to celarme. O sea, that they don't let me do what I want to do, that they're trying to control me. And in a relationship, I think the first thing that leads to jealousy is bad communication. When you've been hurt in a relationship, when you've been done wrong, when you've been either cheated on, or you find out things from another person that the person you are with is doing, that automatically makes you build like a wall, right? And you don't want to get hurt again. You don't want to have to feel all the emotions you felt at that moment. And for me, when I get super jealous, I kind of become like this little ogre Grinch, whatever you want to call me. I get like super overprotective. I get super angry. I honestly look like a mad Oompa Loompa, like a Oompa Loompa on steroids, except that I'm a little taller than Oompa Loompa. And so when you think about that, how far in a relationship does jealousy become too far? For me personally, me and my husband, we have the same passwords for everything. So my husband doesn't check my phone. I don't check his phone. I think at some point you develop a trust that you don't feel like you have to do those type of things. Now, I'm going to use the example of my father-in-law. My father-in-law was just staying in my house this weekend because he decided to leave his wife because his wife was trying to find out where he was every second of the day. And that to me is overboard. Like he was driving behind her in the car. He arrived 3 minutes late after her in the car, and she was mad about that. She asked who was he talking to on the phone that he was arriving 3 minutes after her. So that to me is like overboard. Like, what the hell? How can you want to know every second of every day what someone is doing? That's impossible. I want to ask you guys, are you guys in that type of relationship, or would you be in a relationship where you're one that goes through the phone? What do you guys think? Minnie?
As you girls know, like, I hate people going through my phone. Like, that is my personal stuff. And even with y'all, like, I get really angry when y'all steal my phone and run away. Like, even as a joke, like, I can't stand that. So I've never allowed it to happen, because the moment with a guy who tried to reach that point, it's like, get the hell away from me. We're done. It's over. No.
Yeah, don't play by taking Minnie's phone. I learned it the hard way. Listen, Minnie is the most unathletic person you will ever meet in your life. No offense, Minnie. I'm saying no offense first. But I took her phone once and I started running. Now, mind you, I was athletic. I was a soccer player. I did a lot of sports. I was pretty fast. I was skinny, so I could run. That bitch got me in like 2 seconds, grabbed me by the hair. She's like, bitch, don't touch my phone. And I was like, oh, hell no. Okay, here you go. Never mind. I never thought I'd be scared of Minnie, but at that time, if I was an ogre, she was like the devil. Red eyes, staring at me in the face, give me my phone. And so, Minnie, I'm glad you said that, because it's true. Like, some of us are super overprotective of our phones. It's not because we are trying to hide something. It's just that's the way we are. So, Cece, can you tell me, if you were in a relationship with someone who wanted to check your phone, how would you feel about that? Or are you one that likes to check phones? What do you think?
I've never been one that likes to check phone. But I mean, if I grab the phone or I'm seeing something, like we're both together, I'm not one to like go and see like the messages, pictures or whatever. But I've had guys that like to see, like, not to go out and be like, oh, I'm directly want to see your phone, but sometimes we're just sharing things and it's like, oh, look at this. So if they want to go through it, I don't mind if I give it to them like that. But for them to come up to me and be like, oh, let me see your phone, like I need to check it. That's the problem for me. Now if I unlock the phone and be like, oh, look at this, and then I just give the phone to them, that I don't mind, but just that mind of like, oh, you have to give me the phone like every other day or every other time, or just in general, I think I can't. What's up, Cookie?
In that situation, I think it's very interesting for me because I was the one that got somebody's phone and searched, and but I'm also the one that people search phones. Like they will search my phone. I don't have an issue if you check my phone. I have nothing to hide. That's very, I feel like that's more of an insecurity thing for a person to be, oh, I need to check their phone. I need to know what it is. I need to know what they have or something like that. But honestly, for me, the only time I checked somebody's phone was because I didn't trust that person anymore, to the point where like whatever you said was lies. And one minute of the night, I decided to check this person's phone and I saw messages. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm seeing this. You ain't not the one, you know? But then later, I also been to the point where like my current relationship that I am in now, he checked my phone and he felt some type of way because of course I was talking to another person, but I wasn't talking to another person like flirting with this person. No, I was talking to this person like a normal conversation, and he was jealous. He felt insecure. His insecurities hit him. So to the point where I'm like, look, we need to work this out because what you did wasn't right to search through my phone because it's my privacy. You know, if you wanted to look at my phone, you could have at least asked and I'll give it to you. That's how I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know anybody else in their idea in there, but I know people who are like very insecure to the point that they will put a tracker in somebody's phone. Yeah, Gigi?
I think that the insecurities come from people who have been betrayed or done wrong or cheated on or whatever it is. Because I mean, at the beginning, obviously my husband, like I've shared before in previous stories, my husband was my lover. I had another boyfriend at that time. And so it got to the point where we were in a serious relationship, like when we actually started. He did want to keep trying to check my phone. He was super jealous. He didn't want me to have any guy friends. He didn't want me to do this. He didn't want me to do that. He wanted to put so many restrictions on me that I told him, this is not going to work if that's how you think our relationship is going to be. I'm someone that, yes, I have friends that are girls, but no offense, y'all are a bunch of drama queens. So I prefer the niggas that don't bring all that drama. No offense. I love y'all. I love y'all to death. But sometimes y'all are on some shit. I don't know if it's your period. I don't know if it's menopause. I don't know if it's crack or cocaine. So me personally, I've always connected more with guys in the sense of friendship than I did with girls. And so for my husband, boyfriend at that time, he didn't understand that. Like to him, he thought, okay, she has her girlfriends and that's it. And no, obviously my boyfriend / husband at the time met you guys and he knew I had you guys, but I get along easier with guys than I do with girls. And so it was a problem at the beginning. And that's why when I kind of broke up with my ex and started a relationship with him, I took like a 3-month gap between actually officially starting a relationship with my husband now, because I wasn't sure if that's the type of relationship I wanted to be in. And a guy that was super jealous. I played soccer, so most of the times I played soccer, I played with guys anyways. And I was a little hoe, so he did have like some backing behind that hole. Well, no, I was in a hole. It was a fancy. No, yeah, I was a hole. Let's just call it a hole. He did have some backing to why he could feel jealous at the point. But when I told him, when we started that relationship, I told him straight up, this. I know what I did in my past. I know obviously I don't have the best track record because you were my lover. And I had a couple more lovers when I was in a serious relationship, air quotes. But at the end of the day, if I'm telling you I want to be with you, it's because I want to give this a real shot. So you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. And we did end up developing that relationship where we both trusted each other to the point that, I mean, like I said, our phone passwords are the same. Like he knows all my stuff. I know all his stuff. But it's not like he's checking my phone, I'm checking his phone. We don't go through that. So I think in order for people to develop that sense of that relationship where you don't have to be jealous all the time, you honestly have to have honest communication. And if you feel like with the person you are with, you can't have that communication, then bitch, next. Because if you can't talk to your partner, then what the hell are you doing? What do you guys think? Well, let me ask you this. I have a question for y'all. Let me ask you this. So we said obviously going through the phone. What about if you're in a relationship where the person is so jealous or you're so jealous that they want to know every second of every day where you're at. And if you don't text them, do they freak out? Have any of you been in that type of relationship, or what do you think? What do you think, Cookie?
Honestly, I've never been in a relationship like that, but I can somewhat say that I did have someone who needed to know where I was going, who I was chilling with, and what time I was planning to come home. I've had someone like that, but wasn't like super obsessed with it. It's more of like, because I wouldn't go out a lot, but when I did, those situations will happen where I'm like, okay, why do I have to tell you where I'm going? And all of that. It's more of like, do you trust me? Because I feel like that's the trust issue. Like I said, it's somebody insecurity. They're blaming you for a past situation. Like, I'm more of like, when that happened to me, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work, because I like freedom. I don't want you to know. If I want to tell you, I'll tell you. If I don't tell you, it's because I feel like if I say one little thing wrong, then that's an issue. And I don't like that. That's something that it doesn't fit well with my personality. I don't know about everybody else. I don't know about Cece or Meanie if they had someone like that. Yeah, Meanie?
So I was 15 and I had a boyfriend, and I'll never forget this from my grandma. I go up to my grandma. I'm like, hey, grandma, can I go out with some friends to the beach? And she's like, oh, so you're going with your boyfriend? I'm like, no, I'm going with some friends. And she's like, did you ask your boyfriend for permission? I'll never forget this, because I looked her dead in the eye and I told her, I need to ask who permission? I need to ask you permission to go out with my friends. But I don't need to ask any man any permission to do anything. And she kind of laughed it off, and she's like, you're going to learn. To this day, whenever some guy has tried to control me, I'll look them dead in the eye and be like, you got me fucked up, because I am not answering to anyone. I don't have to ask permission to anyone. The only people I used to ask permission to was my grandma, who had custody over me, now, and my grandpa, just to make sure like he's fine. But I'm not asking permission to do anything. This is my life. I'll do what I want. And that's kind of my opinion. And that's why I've ended potential relationships, just because I cannot stand the thought of someone telling me, who are you with? Where are you going? Who are you going to be with? What time are you coming home? Like, no. It's not happening. Yeah, Cece?
For me, it hasn't been like that. The only thing was I started to see this guy, remember the Cholo guy? And the thing for me is I can't answer you, but if for him it was like if I didn't answer the guy in either calls, texts, or anything, he'll Snapchat me, Instagram me, Facebook message me, and then call me like 30 times, message me like 10 times. And sometimes I'll be out at the store and I had to turn off my phone. And my sister will be like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, turning off the phone. He's like, why don't you answer? I'm like, I don't need to answer right now. I'm busy. I'll answer when I answer. And then it was to the point I would just turn off my phone and be like, hey, I can't. And then I just disappear after a while. It's like, I can't, I'm like, I can't deal with this. It's not something that is in me. So I just, after that, I was like, okay, I can't deal with that. And I kind of gave it a shot. It's like, maybe it's something, because military guys or whatever. So I'm like, maybe just give it some time, and nothing. The same thing kept going, and so I disappeared. I was like, I'm cool. I don't need this. It's not for me. What's up, Gigi?
All right, so it's good to know that you guys have kind of experienced, I guess, like different relationships in that sense of what it's like to be jealous. Now, from a girl standpoint, y'all better not come over here and tell me y'all were never jealous in your lives. Because I remember in high school, we almost fought a couple people because they were trying to mess with our mans. So I want to hear those stories. Like, how do you deal with our female hormones / jealousy / inner bitchness / the devil in me / touch my man, I cut your huevos, or your JJ or whatever? Like, what experiences do you guys remember that you had the little green monster in you and you felt like, shit, this bitch better back off? Before y'all go, I'll share mine. So I'm gonna call him Casper because everyone knows him as Casper, right? We all have that one boyfriend that we all think like, what the fuck was going through my mind when I dated him? I reflect now and I was like, okay, I don't know what happened. He looked like the little Megamind guy from that movie, the little blue alien, whatever his name was. Looked like a light bulb, and he was white as hell, whatever. So he's the guy that I've spoken on shows before, the one that was like uber romantic and would write me like 30-page letters that Minnie would have to summarize for me because I'd never read in my life. And so he comes and he tells me, mind you, was I faithful in that relationship? Hell no. But I still had that little green monster in me thinking like, shit, bro, like this kid did me wrong, even though I've done him wrong so many times. So he comes out to me, he's like, hey, listen, I kissed this girl. I think she was like a sophomore, junior. I don't remember what grade she was. I barely even remember at this point. I know we were trying to work things out, and I was like, you did what? And so I see this girl, and this girl's like, yeah, I want your man, this and that. You ain't gonna do shit about it. So if you met me in high school, I was very, how do I put it without sounding, I'm gonna say short fuse. So you fuck me, I fuck you over. That's how it worked. And honestly, like, I'm ready, like, yo, let me fight this bitch. Minnie's like, bro, don't do it. We have, I think this was junior year. We have rings coming up. Are you seriously gonna risk it? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. This bitch stepped up with my man, which again, I was cheating on him too. But I don't know. I feel like I had that little green monster in me that sometimes I feel like if I can't have him, no one can have him. And so to make the story short, Minnie talked me out of not fighting the girl, which is really rare for me. Like, I honestly like jalando pelo, arrastrando, pagata, 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 pero Minnie convinced me not to. But, you know, it's like, as me, I don't know if it was the hormones, the pre-hormones, I don't know what the heck it was. I don't have testosterone. I don't know what the hell girls have. I never passed anatomy class. The point is, like, I was like, bro, like, after reflecting it, obviously a couple of years, we do stupid shit when we're teens. But reflecting a couple of years is like, what the fudge? Like, what was I thinking even fighting that girl? Like, why? Por un flaquito que tenía la pinga más chiquita que my little pinky, and my pinky's tiny. But still, it's like that little green monster in me, or whatever you want to call it, el demonio que los hispanos tenemos. Like, to me, it was like, no one else can have them. Do you guys ever experience it to that point? Have you ever been in a relationship where you're like,
okay, mine was like the way that you mentioned, it was at the club. Mine's, I don't know why, but my high school years, I was pretty chill, I guess, you know, with my ex. He did his stuff, I did mine, so I wasn't really jealous until that point that you're recalling at the club. Like, everything escalated way too high. I don't know if it was the drinks. I don't know if it was just the situation itself. But it wasn't much for the fact that, you know, about the dancing or like the female thing. What kind of pissed me off more and I got mad and everything escalated, it was because we already had talked about certain boundaries, especially, you know, how you said, I hang out with guys and I still have guy friends apart from you guys, which I hang out and nobody else sees. Neither did he, met or whatever. So I kind of will give him the heads up, or I'm here, this and that, just for the sake of it. You get me, as a, like, communication wise. And then that day we had talk, whatever, and then he's like, oh, I'm not feeling myself, this and that. And everything kind of turned into like a blackout type of thing, into the mood of like, I don't give a fuck of what I'm doing or who I am with and this, like that. So when he started dancing with your cousin and everything else, that part escalated because he will give me a lot of crap about the other guy that was in the group, and that brought a lot of problems. So I kind of took a step back, and seeing him just not giving a fuck for that night and just like dancing in general, it kind of gave me the nerve, and I was like, nah, bro, so much went down. Like, I swear que si no nos agarramos los pelos, y creo que hasta casi le aruño la cara, si no estoy mal. Like, literally, I think I left him a scratch or something, but I almost slapped the fuck out of him, like, that night, like, literally. And then it was the whole night, it was like arguing and fighting, like, the whole fucking night. And you guys saw that. For me, that was the, like, my pick up the point. And after, I was like, okay, I've never been like this. I've never been jealous, you know. I've never been like the type to act out or say something or anything. But I don't know what like I said, I don't know if it was the drinks or just the boundaries that we had put and that we had talked just for previous situations. that sparked that little, esa flame, like ese fuego, and I was like, nah, this is not going anywhere tonight.
Well, listen, that night, right? That night was crazy, man. I'm gonna give y'all a tiny little backstory on that night. I think all of us were there, but I don't remember anymore. The drinks take away my memory. Whatever. I have a cousin who knows how to party, right? She is my ride or die when it came to party. She took me to North Carolina. I got drunk as fuck. So I had to show her a good time here in Miami, right? So I tell my husband's homeboys, listen, I have a cousin coming. She's a little crazy. We're going to go clubbing. Do you guys want to go? And they told me yes. I was like, okay, let's go. Whatever. So that night, when I get drunk, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. So that night, Cookie was hyping me up. I was drinking a lot. And so my cousin decides that she wants to dance with Cece's man. So I am drunk. I do not take responsibility for what I do when I'm drunk. I've said this a million times, and as my friends, you should know this. So I go up to him and I'm like, listen, my cousin wants to dance with you. Is it cool or not? He tells me, yeah, but then I see Cece giving me the face. And so at this point, I don't know where the fuck the relationship was. So I was like, all right, I was drunk. I remember this perfectly though, because I got text after that the next day, y'all bitching me out for doing all this. So I was like, all right, I'm confused. Are y'all together or not? So my cousin can dance with him or can she not? If not, I'll give her to one of the other 5 men that are here. So whatever. So Cece gives me the look again. And then the pendejo says, no, we're not together. And I was like, holy shit, la cagué. What am I going to do? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. This has nothing to do with me. I grab my drink and I tell my cousin, listen, borracha, go to the next one. There's some drama, right? So that's what I hate about the machismo in a relationship. Like, I can do things, but you can't do them. And it's like, what the hell, bro? So I think like right there, we see like the, you know the look. And when Cece gave me that look, I was like, fuck, la cagué. Cookies, give me my other drink. Let me move away from here. I'm about to get slapped for being a pendeja. So I grab my drink, whatever I go, I don't know where the hell I went after that. And then that's when the whole arguing started and all that other stuff. And then we all got involved and then someone got drunk and started throwing up. And then after that, I don't remember the night. So back to jealousy, because that's where I was going with all this. So where do we cross the line in a relationship when it comes to jealousy? Have you guys done anything crazy when you've been jealous? Has anyone done anything crazy to you when they've been jealous? What you think, Cookie? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Honestly, I'm not the jealous type, and I haven't even fought for a man or complained to a man about it, because I'm more of like, if you can entertain somebody else, go. But I've had someone crazy enough to put a tracker in my car. Like, this person literally tracked me. So when I had somebody actually track me and found out because I cleaned my car, I was like, oh, I see. Somebody was crazy, literally crazy enough to like, to the point of that they were super jealous to the point to get there. I wouldn't be able. Like, when I found the little thing literally under the seat, I was like, yeah, this is toxic. This is red flag. I'm out. Deuces. I won't be dealing with your jealousy whatsoever, because I can only imagine what more they do. But nah. Honestly, I can even tell you I've had guys who were so jealous to the point that they fought each other, and I'm just like, you guys are the dumbass out here, but I can't say anything about that because I just like, okay, deuces. This is about me, but that's not my problem. But that's the only crazy shit. Those 2 crazy moments that I had.
I would have flushed that shit down the toilet so he can go track me in the sewer. Fuck that shit. Hell no. Manny, you too quiet, bro. Like, I want to hear your green monster stories. You gotta be like, I don't know. You throw me off. Last time you said now that you're a romantic lover or whatever the hell, a hopeless lover, and then you completely threw me off with your answers. So I want to hear from you, like, how far has your little green monster made you go, or what have they done to you when they were really jealous?
I've had on 2 occasions people who were potential relationships try to know my every location, my every movement. And I was just like, no, this isn't gonna work. Like, I stopped it at the source because I know myself and I don't like answering to anyone or telling everyone my every movement, no, it doesn't work for me. Which I see it as a red flag. And I'm glad I'm able to spot these before it gets too advanced, because in one of these occasions, remember our tall friend ended up dating one of my potential relationship was. I was like, no, I don't want this person. If you want, you could go for it. And she ended up being in that very toxic relationship. So I think it's very important to notice red flags and just cut it at the source if possible. Now, for my little green monster, okay. So in previous relationships, I've noticed when guys were on the brink of cheating on me or were cheating on me. And this is the part you guys are going to hate me. Or I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just let it go. So my jealousy is like, I'll get mad, but I won't do anything about it. Yeah, sí.
Vas a encontrar la horna de tus zapatos que un día te va a sacar el monstruo verde y vas a explotar, vas a ver.
¿Qué clase de pendeja eres tú? Maybe I understood wrong, right? Because I have like, I don't know, I have something in my head that doesn't make me process correctly. So you knew they were gonna cheat on you and you just let them cheat on you? And you were fine with it? Is that how I understood correctly?
I just let them go.
Oh, so you ended the relationship before they cheated on you?
Yes.
Okay, then that's not bad. I thought you said you let them fuck other people and you were still in the relationship. Okay. Thank God you clarified for me, because I was ready to open a can of whoop ass right now on your ass. Even though you in another city, I would have mailed that can of whoop ass through the mail. La chancleta would have made it to you. I've learned from my mother, it would have gotten to you. Okay, so that's smart. That's really smart. Ending it before they F you over. Good job. I'm proud of you, Minnie. That's why you're the smart one in the group. No offense to the rest of us. We all got our talents, but Minnie's the more highly, heavily, brainly qualified up there. Okay, Minnie, so that you had no little green monster experience. You've never been jealous in a relationship.
I mean, the one time I could actually remember being jealous is one time I was with this guy and I saw that he was texting his ex. Now, mind you, I didn't go through his phone or anything. We were both like kind of laying down and we were both on our phones. And he was showing me something on his phone, memes or whatever. And then a text message comes in from his ex. So I kind of saw the message. It wasn't anything bad. I mean, it was just, hey, what's up? And I know he responded to it. So for a moment, I was like, I don't want them talking. But at the end of the day, I was like, no, I can't be this type of person. I can't be jealous over the fact that he's friends with his ex, because that doesn't make sense at all.
Girl, please. Yes, you can. I'm one of those people that I don't like my ex. I don't like my man at the time being friends with their ex. Perfect example, pendejo and pendeja, the bitch I couldn't stand in high school. They were friends the whole time we were in a relationship. That relationship was horrible. I mean, I guess there's a certain trust issue. So I guess Minnie, from where you were and where you stood, that makes you like the bigger person. But me, I think I always had an issue with my significant person being friends with their ex, especially if it was like a really deep relationship, that even if it ended amicably or it didn't, like there's always something there. What is it called? Donde hubo fuego, cenizas quedan. That's what I think. But does anyone disagree with me? Please feel free to disagree with me.
Okay, so I have a thing right there. Like, yes, if two people were in a relationship, it ran deep and they ended it, I don't think it is that they're still attracted to each other or something like that. I just think that because of the emotions that were there, you're always going to care for that person. It doesn't have to be romantically. It could just be you'll always care for their well-being. And I know this to be true because this is a position that I am now. Like, I'll always care for this person, but I don't want to be with them. So I think it really depends.
All right. So what would be the first sign for you that tells you to pull the plug on a relationship because it's too much? What would be the first sign for you? Who wants to go first?
For me, it'll be the moment that we start in a relationship, like the talking stage, the texting stage when you're talking to somebody and for some reason you stop texting this person for 2 days, just 2 days, because you know you have things to do, you have family issues, whatever you want to call it, and the person randomly texts you and tells you, oh, you're ignoring me now, you don't want to talk to me no more, oh, you have somebody else, oh, what happened? I think I found someone like that before I started my relationship now, and I was like, whoa, 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 I need you to chill. That's something, that red flag right there, that I can tell right now. Like, I blocked the guy, and he messaged me on Instagram, Facebook, and that's when I knew that, oh my god, that's red flag. Once the moment that, even on the moment that you start texting or talking to each other and you're not in a relationship, and they already want to know, like, oh, how come you didn't text me, how come you didn't call me, how come this, how come that, that's when you already know, hey, look, I'm not sticking with this person, I'm out. I can already tell that this person's trying to control me, is super jealous, and I can't have someone like that.
Like I said before, I've had these situations, and for me, the first obvious red flag is the constantly, like Cookie said, the constantly pressuring of communicating. Like, I'm sorry, we're all adults, we're all busy, we all have things to do and places to be, and unfortunately we can't be on our phones 24/7. And so I had this one person who, if I wouldn't text back in 15 minutes, would blow up my phone. I'm like, no. And then I had another person where I'll be like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends, and they were like, send me pictures, I need to know who you're with, I need to know you're not lying. I was like, excuse me, is my word not enough? No, like, goodbye. I'm not here to entertain insecure people.
I would send a dick pic just for the hell of it. I would go to Google, find the biggest mandingo, and send it, and be like, there you go. This is how I'm spending my day. But I'm an asshole. So, all right, Cece, what would be the red flag for you where you're like, nope, next, no, thank you?
I think it's the same thing, because like with that guy, it was mostly calls, texts, and every other way. But I think if he had my email, he would have emailed me too. Like, it wasn't any social media. You know, it gets to the point when you have to turn off your phone and just disconnect so that person that doesn't reach you. That's completely, off, a turn off for me at least. I can't, and you guys know how much I love my phone and how much I am on my phone in generalizing it, just videos, YouTube, or whatever it is. But if I have to turn it off and you don't give me like a breather where I can't do anything without messaging you, or like anything in generalize, I could tell you I'm with my sister or I'm with my friends, and you're like, oh, but I want to go out, I want to hang out. Like, no, it's like, I can't.
I have a question for you girls. I know right now we're talking about jealousy, and what we're mainly focusing right now is on constantly seeing each other or text messaging or the phone. But I have a question. Would you guys consider other different forms of jealousy? For instance, preventing you from seeing male friends, or dictating what you can or cannot wear, or dictating who you cannot be with, because I think jealousy goes a long way and could really affect you.
In this part, I will have to say, yes, you are correct in that part. But I think it's more of like, when is the moment that you can already tell it's a red flag? Because honestly, like, I love to wear, like, I like to show my skin. You guys know this. I like to show skin. I don't like hiding my breast. I love my breast, so I'm okay showing it off. But I know where you're coming from in that situation where, like, yeah, the way you dress, this is right, 100%. That's completely 100% correct when it comes to that, because there are men out there that would like, no, you can't wear that. You can't wear that going outside. Like, because I don't like wearing a bra. There's a lot of information anyways, but I don't like wearing a bra. But I had a partner where they were like, no, you have to wear a bra all the time. The only time you can wear a bra is when I'm with you. The only time you can't wear a bra is when I'm with you. And I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. I want to wear no bra. I love no bra, Or the other situation where you're like, oh, you can't have any guy friends. This is very true. Another situation where a lot of guys are very jealous, or maybe females, whatever relationship you're in, they're like, oh, you can't be with that person. You can't chill with this person. Because I've also had that issue where there's guys who are too over jealous to the point where they're like, no, I don't feel comfortable chilling with este pendejo con el otro pendejo, pendejo número 3, pendejo número 4, whatever it is.
So I used to wear a lot of crop tops and stuff like that. And I used to wear a lot of tight things when I was skinny. Now I got a little bit more. I mean, I got meat. I'm not fat. I got meat in the right places. But I don't wear as much revealing stuff as I used to before I was married, right? Before I was married, I would go clubbing all the time. I had a different lifestyle. Now, I honestly don't go clubbing at all. I still drink like a motherfreaker. But the point is, you are completely right. That is a form of jealousy. Someone controlling what you wear, how you wear it, when you go out, with who you go out, at what time you go out, try to tell you what time you go home. And I was in a relationship like that. And I used to tell him, I was like, dude, he's like, oh, you gotta text me when you get home. And if you're not home by this time, I'm gonna call your mom to make sure you're there. And I was like, boy, go ahead, call my mom. I already blocked your ass. You're freaking crazy. I'll let you know when I'm home if I want to. And if I'm sober enough to let you know when I'm home, if not, deuces. And with me, like the thing was, when I used to go out clubbing and stuff like that, I would go out with guys who were into me. And I knew they were into me, which is why I'd go out with them, because they'd pay for my stuff. But at the end of the day, that is a form of jealousy. And I want to hear what Cece says, and then I have a question for you guys, and that'll be my final question for the night.
I mean, for me, it's enclosed generalizing it. I never had. Just it got to a point, I guess, because I was hanging out with, like, going out with guys. Like I said, I hang out with a lot of guys out of the group, and my best friend is a guy. So, you know, I think it's mostly insecurity and over the guy. So I kind of had to like sit down and be like, it's either this or that, because they'll be like, you can't, I don't like you going to dinner, or I don't like you going out to like lunch or breakfast with him. I'm like, but he's been my best friend for like 10 years. And if I wanted something with the guy, I would have done it before I started dating you. You get me? So I'm like, it's either you see it how it is as just a regular friendship, or there's gonna be a problem, because I'm not gonna leave my friend just because you want to. And if he couldn't accept that, there was gonna be a problem with that. So, you know, after talking and things like that, he got the hang of it, and it's like, okay, so it's just that. And then it was like the bathing suit like thing. Like I'm used to wearing 2 pieces, but it was that of like, oh, you can't wear 2 pieces. I don't like you wearing 2 pieces. If you wear 2 pieces, like wear a short. They'll be like, why? It took me a little while to be like, no, this is the way I used to dress, and that's how you met me. So if you can't accept that, so what are we doing? Like, what do you want to be with me? So yeah.
All right, now to my question. I feel like everyone's gonna, well, not everyone, but some of us are gonna contradict me more than others. Can you be in a healthy relationship when there is no jealousy? Because personally, I think that at some point in a healthy relationship, there's a point where you're jealous. And that's what I think. But I'd like to hear what you guys think. Can you be in a healthy relationship when there is no jealousy? Because at the end of the day, like, I feel if si tu novio, tu mujer, or lo que sea, no te cela, then do they really have intense, intimate feelings for you? What do you guys think? What do you think, Cookie?
In this situation, I think yes. If 2 people who aren't in a relationship are not a jealous type, then I think yes, they can be in a healthy relationship. Why? Because in that situation, if you think about it, they only see each other. That's one. They don't think of other person. They're not entertaining another person. And then later, 3, instead, maybe it's different because I am in a relationship where my partner is not a jealous type and I am not a jealous type. But we traveled, we went to Texas, we had brunch, and a girl was just checking him out, and I was like, damn, baby, getting them eyes on you. Like, but I meant like to do it like to be fun, not because I was jealous and was like, damn, you see, baby, you're so handsome, you know, like doing that. I'm more of like, it's okay, females can watch you, females can look up and down, because guess what, we have eyes.
I mean, I think you're talking about when you guys have an open communication and you guys talk about everything and anything. So you can actually make those type of jokes or like make it seem sarcastically, you get me? To the point that you two get it. But at the same time, like Gigi said, it could be healthy, there's no jealousy, but that point, the person had to be only themselves, like have less friends, do everything together, not work necessarily together, but either be at home most of the time, not go out on the weekends, and more to themselves. So there's not a lot of time to actually be jealous, because if you're gonna go out, you're gonna go out with your partner, and it's an open communication. But I think, to be fair, every relationship is gonna have some type of jealousy. It could be something as minimal as somebody complimenting you, just for the fact, sometimes you just focus on yourself, and even though you're in the relationship, you let go of your partner a little bit because you're too comfortable, or you acknowledge them, but at the same time you're like, oh, I'm confident that I want him, so I don't have to, like, como decirle, estarle recordando que te quiero, te esto, lo otro, this and that. So you get used to that. So it's a comfort, you get me? So once they start seeing other people paying you attention, or the little things you go out, or sometimes they message you on social media nowadays, that can cause a little bit of like, oh, okay, my man or my woman is having attention. I don't feel like maybe I haven't given it enough. And that's when the little things come into play.
Okay, so I think we as humans have jealousy embedded in our brain in some way, shape, or form. Like it could be passing, it could be just a minor somebody compliments your significant other and you get jealous for a moment, or you see if they're hanging out with someone particularly and they get along well, you could be jealous for just a passing moment. My point is that jealousy will always exist. Sometimes you won't acknowledge it. You could be like me, you could let it go. But I do think that a relationship could be healthy without jealousy, because I cannot stand jealousy, whatever, especially the machismo that is embedded in the Hispanic culture, that the guy has to basically control the relationship. Like that's all bullshit to me. It honestly is. So honestly, I think a relationship is better without jealousy.
In the situation, a lot of people, it's called communication. I honestly, that's what I think, and very much when it comes to that, because I haven't been in a situation where I'm jealous because my partner did something or I just felt some type of way. I've never gone through that. But honestly, because I am in a relationship, a good, healthy relationship where we're both not jealous, I will have to say it's possible. It is, because honestly, as like Mini said, there can be a moment where you're just jealous just a little bit, but then you come back to reality and you're like, yeah, I don't see why I should be jealous because of this. Like I was saying before, if you're jealous, is because either you're very insecure or because your partner's doing something that you feel uncomfortable about. And you guys haven't communicated that, because there is boundaries. Just like Cece says, it's good to put boundaries and you got to respect the boundary.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to argue with Cece. I'm sorry, I love you, girl, and everything, but I do not understand the concept of boundaries. I do not. I cannot have somebody say, I need you to tone down this. I need you to start doing this. It's like, no, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. And this is who I'll continue to be. Like, I know you did some compromises in your previous relationship, but I cannot. And like, it gets me frustrated. Like for someone to tell me, oh, you need to stop hanging out with so-and-so. Like I'll just send them to hell right then and there. And I've done it because I cannot fathom someone trying to control my life. And yes, Cookie, a little bit of jealousy, it comes and goes as long as you're confident in the relationship. And the thing that gets me the most is that you cannot have a relationship without trust. So if you have that overwhelming jealousy, what the hell are you doing in the relationship? That is not a relationship. That is someone just being possessive of another human being. And I'm sorry, we're not trophies. We cannot be handled. We cannot be put on a shelf and be like this is mine. No, we are all human beings. Okay.
That
Yes,
is
Gigi.
a fucking Minnie. I know. Finally, she's talking. Jesus fucking Christ. It took 20 freaking episodes in here for her to speak her mind. Lord have mercy. The Lord has heard me. This is what I prayed for. Let me stop. I don't go to church. Let me stop. Yes, Minnie. Yes, yes, yes. Boundaries. I like what you said about boundaries. I will admit that I've compromised with my husband on some boundaries. But it's not because I felt like it's controlling me. It's because I felt like I was being too much out there. And it got to the point where it put my own life in danger, and I agree with it. So do I agree with boundaries? It depends. Do I agree that you should not change who you are for a relationship? If you're changing who you are for a relationship, bitch, you need to run. Because if he's doing that when you're trying to be novios, imagine what he's gonna do when you're married. And I feel like when someone's controlling you in a relationship, when you're boyfriend and girlfriend, then prepárate lo que va a pasar en tu casa, because it's gonna be WWE. There won't be chancletas flying. There will be fajas. There will be TVs. I think it's just too much. So I feel like if it's boundary, if he's telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, which is what my boyfriend at that time, now he's my husband, said to me. And I was like, this isn't going to work for me because that's not who I am. You're telling me to be a nun. I can't be a nun. Gigi likes to perrear. She likes to get down. She likes to grind. And I can't be there like, ay, ¿qué quieres de comer, mi vida? ¿Quieres que te limpie? ¿Quieres la casa limpia? ¿Quieres que te va? No, I can't do that. I mean, obviously I'll clean my house and everything else, but I can't do that where you're telling me I can't be who I am. And so, Minnie, I am glad you finally opened your freaking mouth, because you're right. And please, if anyone needs to call me out, call me out. I love being called out because I like talking shit. But at the end of the day, like, if you're changing who you are to be in a relationship, bitch, run. Because relationships are like 90-day trial periods, right? The first 90 days, everything is cookies and creams. Después de eso, prepárate que empieza una candela increíble. Yes, Cookie, what do you think, girl?
I think what you, Gigi and Mini, said about not changing your personality for anything, I agree. Don't change yourself unless it's a healthy way. If it's a healthy thing to do, because in the end of the day, maybe your partner, wants to grow and you want to grow with your partner. You're both growing together in a healthy way. And yes, slowly your personality does change. I will have to say that, because a lot of people are going to like misunderstand what you guys are saying, because then they're going to be like, oh, then that means I can't change at all. So if you have like trust issues, jealousy issues, no. Those are things, negative things that you want to change in a positive way with a supportive partner, not in a negative way. Now, if the person's trying to do it in a negative way of like changing you, then that's something that you do not want. Because in the end of the day, there can be a moment like Gigi said, like Gigi went through an issue. She put her and her husband talk about these boundaries, and because they wanted her to be in a safe and a better place, and not for her to be wild and something bad to happen to her. So those are healthy boundaries that I'm talking about. Like, I put boundaries with my boyfriend now, and I told him, look, how about this? You can do whatever you want with your friends. Chill with your friend, come home whenever time you want. Just let me know at least where you're at, so I can be like, okay, he is safe, in a positive way, where I'm like, okay, I don't need to know your location, but I want to make sure you're okay and you're safe. Or like, let's just say you're too drunk and I don't know where you are, but you told me ahead of time so I can drive and pick you up in that certain situation. This is where I'm going to fight Mimi in the situation where like, those are the boundaries that I'm talking about, because I see the boundaries that you're talking about. Like, you're talking the very unhealthy boundaries. And those unhealthy boundaries are red flags.
Are we good? We good? At the end of the day, open communication, trust. Don't check phones unless you want to see something you don't want to see. unless you think you have to check the phone, and then you're gonna make sure, if you think you have to check the phone, then you're probably gonna see something you don't want to see. So I'm warning you now, advising you from our experience of one time checking the phone and finding texts I didn't want to find. So if you gonna check the phone, girl or man or whatever you are, be prepared to find something you don't want to find. At the end of the day, if your man's trying to change you, girl, next. There's enough fish in the sea. Keep looking around, keep exploring the waters. Enjoy your youth. Don't try to tie it down to one. And if you have a high school sweetheart, that probably ain't gonna last either. That's my advice for tonight. Cece, you got any closing remarks for us?
I mean, everything you guys said is perfectly fine and it's true. You just gotta keep everything to like yourself. Know that you are you, and nobody can change that. And if they are changing it for themselves, to benefit themselves, it's not something that's worth it. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of If My Mama Knew. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can stream our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, and YouTube. I'm Cece signing off. This is Gigi,
Bye.
Mimi,
Bye, everyone.
and Cookie.
Bye.